Dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, we have already risen in the honor to welcome Bharat Ratna Honorable Shri PRANAB MUKHERJEE, former President of India. May I now request Kumkum Chaddaji, who's from the Independent Bangladesh on the Managing Committee of the FCC South Asia, to please welcome Honorable former President of India. And also welcome Professor Achyuta Samant, Member of Parliament and founder of the Kalinga Institutes. Thank you, friends. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Manish Gupta. I'm also on the Managing Committee with some of my friends right here of the Foreign Correspondents Club of South Asia. And welcome to this amazing event to award the free and fair foreign correspondents who sometimes face grave danger in their work and work very hard to cover South Asia and India and communicate their stories to the whole world. Now please welcome Sri Venkat Narayan, President of FCC South Asia, for his welcome remarks.
A warm welcome to our former President, Honorable Pranab Mukherjee. Congratulations to you, Mr. Mukherjee, on your being honored with a Bharat Ratna. Thank you very much for coming and gracing this event. The FCC has been wanting to start an awards scheme like this for some time in order to encourage the coverage of India and South Asia, which together account for a fourth of the global population, to encourage coverage on the print and magazines and television and radio, digital and photojournalism across the globe. And we have thought we will institute awards like this and create some kind of a competition so that the journalists who write about our part of the world in the foreign media are encouraged to travel more and write more and broadcast more about India and South Asia. So we broached this subject to Professor Achyuta Samanta, founder of the Kalinga Institute of Social Studies and Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, which together accommodate something like 50,000 students in Bhubaneswar. Then he readily agreed and came forward and decided to support this award scheme for the next 5 years by allotting 50 lakhs of rupees. We thank him profusely for his generous gesture, and we hope that in the next 5-10 years, by the time India becomes a 10 trillion economy, the Kalinga-FCC awards will also become as popular as the Pulitzer, which has been around for more than a century. And we will get to see a lot more coverage, hopefully quite a bit of it positive, about India and South Asia. After all, this part of the world accounted for a fourth of global GDP till the British arrived in this country, and hopefully we will be able to do the same thing in the next 10-15 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkat. And I must add that Venkat agreed with the Foreign Correspondents Club Committee a few years ago to come back as its president. It is his second time. And we have revived the club and made it very, very beautiful. And to show you what FCC represents today, please see a snippet of the vibrant FCC South Asia, which is celebrating 61 years of its completion. We are now in the 62nd year. 161 glorious years in just 7 minutes, but thank you for your attention. Now, may I please welcome for special remarks Professor Achyuta Saman, Member of Parliament and founder of the Kalinga Institutes, a philanthropist, educationist and supporter of the Kalinga-FCC Awards.
Good evening everybody present here. On the occasion of this Kalinga-FCC Award ceremony for excellence in journalism, we have with us Bharat Ratna, Honorable Shri PRANAB Mukherjee ji, former President of India, and also we have with us our respected S. Narayan, President of the FCC, and also our respected distinguished personality on the dais, and also distinguished personality of the dais. I am very much happy that FCC could take the initiative motivating and awarding few journalists, and we all know the journalist role, especially how much it is important for shaping the nation and country, and particularly at this moment this role especially have become more important. And I am very much happy that Narayan ji took this initiative after 61 years of this FCC club here in Delhi. And we are associated by two organizations. I am the founder, Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, KIT, one of the most promising university in the country and beyond country, and also one very noble organization, Kalinga Institute of Social Science, KIS, a home for 50,000 poor indigenous children, 20,000 pass out, 30,000 in the campus, fully free, fully residential, from KG to PG. So these two organizations I have started with only $100 in my pocket in 92-93. It has come off like anything. And these two organizations are now very much honored to be associated with this FCC award in the name and style Kalinga-FCC award. In this aspect, I express my thanks to S. Narayan. We are more happy and honored that the first award is being given in the hands of a great personality of India, Honorable Shri PRANAB Mukherjee ji, which will be remembered for all times to come. So I am also very much happy and honored standing before you. Thank you very much.
Now may I request a veteran journalist and FCC South Asia's own Sir Mark Tully, Chairman of the Kalinga-FCC Awards jury, and who knows India and South Asia definitely better than me.
Well, good evening, everyone. Is here to honour this occasion. I'm sure he won't mind if I refer back briefly to his past and to what might have been history, simply to say that PRANAB Mukherjee is, according to many, many people I speak to in Congress Party, the best leader the Congress Party never had. And I'm sure that there are many of those people in the Congress Party would wish they still could have him as their leader. It's my honour and privilege to talk briefly about the awards which are being given today. They are an attempt by the South Asia Foreign Correspondents Club to raise the profile of South Asia in other parts of the world. I remember years and years ago when television crews used to come to India, and the first thing they used to look for was a vulture. Because to them, vultures were symbols of poverty. And all you heard about India in those days virtually was poverty. And I remember going to a senior meeting of the BBC in London and trying to persuade people there that the peacock rather than the vulture was the national bird of India. Now, of course, things have changed a great deal, but still there's always room for more. There's always room for greater efforts to to bring South Asia to the notice of the rest of the world. And I think that, and I very much hope that this prize and these prizes will succeed in adding interest in South Asia among journalists and getting the news from South Asia more widely published. I don't want to talk too much about the awards themselves, the prize winners, because you have the details of them here. But I would just like to say that two of them had really remarkable impacts on the rest of the world and on India itself. One of them, of course, was the reporting on the Rohingya story, which was really did so much to arouse the interests of the rest of the world in the tragedy which was taking place in Myanmar. I think that was a brilliant piece of journalism, and I very much believe it is the sort of journalism which we should all be trying to promote and to practice. And then there is the reporting also on the Bombay film industry and the treatment of women in that industry, which brought the Me Too movement to India in a big way. So that had a profound impact on India. And I'm personally delighted, of course, that that report was a report for the BBC, and it was certainly worthy of international prize. The other prizes, as I said, you will find here. We didn't get as many entries as we would like to have done. We only got about 40 entries. We had hoped to get more than that. But at the same time, the standard of entries which we got was so high that it certainly made the whole operation extremely worthwhile. And for that reason, I think that all the effort which has gone in now, all the effort which went in for the prize has been enormously worthwhile. And I congratulate all the winners of this prize, and I hope very much that they will encourage their friends, and that the journalists, other members of the club, will also encourage others to take part next year by submitting their work for the prize. And I do want to stress one thing, which is that foreign correspondents and people who work for foreign newspapers are not always by any means foreign correspondents who lived abroad and that sort of thing. We foreign correspondents, I know from my experience, could not function were it not for the work which is put in the assistance which we get from Indian journalists resident in India, resident in the different cities of India. And of course, the present situation in Kashmir is a classic example of a situation where the more help foreign correspondents are able to get from their colleagues who are Kashmiri or living in Kashmir, the better their coverage will be. And I think we all sometimes tend to think of foreign correspondents and foreign news all being foreigners, if I could call myself, like me. But that is not so. And the Indians who contribute to foreign views certainly need to be remembered and will be eligible for this prize if they want to put in their work. So thank you all very much, and congratulations to the prize winners, and also a great deal of gratitude to Professor Samantha for funding this prize. I have been to Bhubaneswar and seen the work he's done there, and it's a sight which I shall never forget. The armies of students, school children, people being educated through his initiative is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Now may I please quickly show you a kaleidoscope of those winning the 2019 KALINGA-FCC Awards for Excellence in Journalism for covering India and South Asia. Honorable former President of India, Sri PRANAB Mukherjee, sir, in the front with Professor Achyuta Shamant and Mr. Venkat Narayan for the presentation of the Kalinga-FCC Awards for Excellence in Journalism. For the Print Journalist of the Year, Ziba Siddiqui of Reuters. For the Television Journalist of the Year, Rajni Vaidyanathan of BBC, represented by Pratiksha Gildia. For Digital Journalist of the Year, Simon Scar and team, receiving is the team Reuters, Gurnam Bhatia, Adnan Abidi and Prasanta Datta. For the Photo Journalist of the Year, Harish Tyagi of European Press Photo Agency. And for the Video Journalist of the Year, Rakesh Nagar for PBS News Hour. Now, may I please request our chief guest, Honorable former President of India, Sri PRANAB Mukherjee, for his keynote address.
Professor Achyuta Shamant, Member Parliament, Founder Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, C.S. Venkat Narayan, President, FCC, Mark 2D, who doesn't require any introduction, Sri Raghu Rai, Sri Martin Howell, South Asia Bureau Chief, Reuters, Sri Alfredo Varda, South Asia Bureau Chief, Krishna Latina, Member FCC Managing Committee, Sri Munish Gupta, Chairman PIO TV, Srimati Kumkum Chadda, The Independent Daily Bangladesh, Member FCC Managing Committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a very happy occasion for me to be present amidst you this evening for presenting the KALINGA-FCC Awards for Excellence in Journalism for the year 2019. At the outset, I wish to congratulate all the awardees today and place on record my appreciation for the international panel of jury members who adjudged the winners for the year. I would also like to congratulate the Foreign Correspondents Club of South Asia for instituting these awards, and Kalinga Institute of Social Studies, Kalinga Institute of Industrial Training and their founder, Mr. Achyut Samantu, Member Parliament, for assisting FCC. The KALINGA-FCC Awards for Excellence in Journalism are instituted to reward outstanding global journalists in recognition of their work on the Indian subcontinent for the world's leading media outlets. I am extremely happy to learn that these awards are the first of their kind in India and South Asia, and are comparable to the century-old Pulitzer Awards in the United States. I believe that these awards will help promote excellence and greater and informed coverage of the 8 countries in South Asia that is home to every 4th human being on the planet. This certainly makes your task all the more challenging. Established in 1958 by a handful of foreign correspondents based in India, the FCC has now grown into an active club of 1,000 members, and I congratulate them for their journey up to 61 years. This club has been hosting press conferences with dignitaries from India and abroad, conducting seminars and discussions, and arranging cultural events to promote a better understanding of India and other countries in the South Asia. It's a matter of pride that FCC members today represent the world's leading newspapers, news agencies, magazines, radio and television networks. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to the foreign correspondents present with us today, I wish to see that India is delighted to pay host for you. And we are proud that several hundred leading media organizations have set up their regional headquarters here in India. It's exciting to learn that whatever is published or broadcast about India and South Asia globally have been put by one of you. To that end, I also wish to reiterate that integrity and independence are the two sides of the same coin, and both should be equally important for our media as for each one of us. I have said before, and I wish to repeat it once more, that media, being the 4th pillar of democracy, is bestowed with the extreme power, since it seeks to hold the other 3 pillars, executive, legislature and judiciary, accountable. Media is the mediator between the public and public servants. It has the power to shape the public opinion. It has the power to give voice to the downtrodden and dispossessed. It has the power to ensure social justice and equality. It has the power to be the eyes and ears of the people, but it has also to ensure that power is not misused. It is inherent role as that of a watchdog of democracy media draws attention to what is wrong. But gloom and dark alone should not dominate the news coverage. A conscious effort must be made to highlight the positive and inspire change for the better. The power of the media should be used to engage in a nationwide endeavor to reset our moral compass. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, India has been the world's fastest growing large economy for several years. We hope to maintain and improve our growth rate in the coming years too, to enhance the quality of life for our 1.36 billion people. Indian economy just now around $3 trillion US by the year end, and aspire to be a $5 trillion US economy in 5 years and a 10 trillion economy in a decade thereafter. This is a challenging task for a diverse country like India, where people speak 122 languages and 1600 dialects in their daily life, and where every fifth person is still poor. However, with all these limitations, and far more in terms of socio-economic indices, when we began our transformational journey in 1947, we were able to overcome our odds and become the fifth largest economy through concerted efforts, especially during the last 3 decades. While the 4 decades immediately after independence were spent in consolidating our impoverished economy and society through state intervention, the decades thereafter saw us opening ourselves to reap the benefits of our consolidation. Our own developmental journey, with its unique characteristics, has ensured that public as well as private enterprises has led our growth. It gave us the capacity to withstand international financial downturn in 2007, even as we adopted globalization. It is again this uniqueness of our hours that gets reflected in the fact that while newspapers are shutting down elsewhere, they are doing quite well in India. We have a vibrant press. There are over 114,000 publications in India today, and their circulation is a staggering 488 million. The world's largest circulated English language newspaper happens to be an Indian daily. With literacy increasing every year, more and more new newspapers are being published. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, through this platform today, I exhort the media fraternity to make meaningful difference in the field of development communication. Ours was the first country to use television for education through satellites in the instructional television experiment site program in the mid-70s. Today, despite the massive expansion of television and internet, the educational aspects of the news media have been mostly ignored, although poverty is one of the major problems that our nation is struggling with since independence. The Indian media, therefore, has a moral imperative to be at the forefront of shaping discourse about how to deploy media and communication tools for poverty alleviation programs. As the media landscape undergoes major changes, the media has assumed different roles of being a facilitator, protector, and enabler of democratic institutions and process. Our vast, varied, and vibrant media is a national asset. Media as a whole not only keeps people informed, but also performs a very crucial function of presenting ideas and alternatives in the domain of policy formulation and implementation. The media space thus become an important component in the fabric of the national democracy by not merely reporting the dialogue of democracy, but also by taking an active part in that dialogue. Over 1 billion Indians now have mobile phones. 500 million Indians are using the internet. There are 1600 satellite channels. More than 400 of them are news channels. And India produces 1,500 films every year in 30 languages. Indian films are becoming increasingly popular abroad, not just in countries where South Asian diaspora is substantial, but even in countries like China. I understand that it is a challenge to understand vast region like South Asia and to explain it to the global audience. Quite a few of you make an effort to understand India and South Asia by traveling in the region and meeting people, and many of you may be depending on what appears in the English media to form your opinions. I would request you and encourage you to go around our region, meet people, see things yourselves, and present the picture of India which comes to you, to the whole world. My compliments once again to all our friends in the media on this very important occasion. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
May I please now request our friend Martin Howell, the South Asia Bureau Chief of Reuters, to present the vote of thanks.
On behalf of the Managing Committee of the Foreign Correspondents Club of South Asia, and all gathered for this first ever Kalinga-FCC Awards for Excellence in Journalism to Foreign Correspondents covering South Asia, I wish to sincerely thank the Honourable former President of India for taking time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion and present the awards. We also want to thank, sincerely thank Professor Samantha MP for all the amazing help that you're giving us for this. Sir Mark Tully, Chairman of the awards jury, and other jurors, and Venkat in particular for driving so much of what we're doing. I must also thank all the members of the past and present managing committees for the 61 glorious years of the FCC South Asia. And finally, I would like to say, thank you, a huge thank you to the courageous journalists who are covering India at the moment. And these are journalists for foreign organizations, journalists for Indian news organizations. These are very difficult times, and I think that the people who are trying to tell the truth for their readers, trying to tell the truth to power, challenging whoever it is at an organizational level that is trying to sometimes deceive with information. I think that those people deserve a lot of credit at the moment, because these are very, very difficult times. Thank you.
And before I close, just a request to all our guests here. The Honourable former President will be leaving after the close of the ceremony, but on the lawns outside to my left, there will be a reception that follows. May I now request everybody to stand up for the national anthem.